Hey guys, it's August. I am in downtown Jerusalem on one of my favorite places that I like to visit is Ben Yehuda Street. And this is before the Shabbat, before the Sabbath. And pretty busy tonight. But by tomorrow night, this place is going to be like a ghost town. Everybody is out here tonight on Ben Yehuda Street. Over here you have shops, you have coffee shops, restaurants, just all kinds of things here, all kinds of things. You go further down over here on Ben Yehuda Street, there are people that are playing guitars, piano. You see this guy here, he's playing his guitar. You see him right here. That's what they do. It's one of my favorite places. I love it. And of course, you have a lot of restaurants here. American restaurants like McDonald's. McDonald's over here. Pizza Hut. All that good stuff. As you get a little bit deeper into Ben Yehuda Street, it gets a little bit thicker. Gets a little bit more congested. And a lot of people just sing, dance, a lot of good stuff going on here. I cannot visit Israel without visiting Ben Yehuda Street. And they have everything here. And of course you can see the street name, named after the man who, here it is right here. The man who revived, or I should say single-handedly revived the Hebrew language. Eliezer Ben Yehuda in the late 1800s said we need to restore the biblical language back. It's going to get a little bit louder over here. Look at this, guys. I mean, it's before the Sabbath, so this place is going to be packed out. I'm just going to walk over here and I'm going to continue to say what I want to say, but I want you to get the experience of visiting Ben Yehuda Street here in downtown Jerusalem. Oh, slicha. Guy almost ran me over with his bike because I said slicha, which is Hebrew for excuse me. So they have a piano here in the public square that anybody can play, really.
This is the plaza. Beautiful plaza.
Sometimes they'll have dances and little concerts right here in this square. Actually, you can see someone right here about to do that. This is where the train will come by here. Public train transportation. I'm going to step up on here so you can see a little bit better. So, why is it called Ben Yehuda Street? A man by the name of Eliezer Ben Yehuda in the late 1800s decided it was time to revive what many considered to be a dead biblical language, and that would be Hebrew. Eliezer Ben Yehuda had a rule when you came into his house. If you did not speak Hebrew, he did not want you talking in his house. No other language was invited into his house other than Hebrew. Even his wife, who did not know the Hebrew language that well, she wasn't even allowed to speak it. She had to learn it outside the house, and it slowly would incorporate it as a second language, brought it into the house. Eliezer Ben Yehuda said, it's time we revive the Hebrew language, but he came under such intense persecution. He came under persecution from the rabbis because the rabbis said, listen, we don't want Hebrew to be the everyday street language. We want to limit Hebrew to the synagogue only. Eliezer disagreed with that. Well, the rabbis went to the Turkish authorities. The Ottoman Turks were occupying this land during that time, as they did for 400 years. They complained to the Ottoman Turks, who in turn arrested Eliezer Ben Yehuda. And he spent not that long in jail, but they warned him not to try to incorporate this language into the land. Eliezer Ben Yehuda was not going to take no for an answer, nor would he be intimidated by threats. He founded a newspaper and got some financial support from that. I mean, him and his wife were not rich, they were very poor, but he wrote so many volumes, dictionaries on Hebrew words, making up Hebrew words. What's interesting about Eliezer is that before he died, he was slowly dying from tuberculosis, and it was slowly taking his life. But before he died working on a Hebrew word for soul, and that Hebrew word would be nefesh. He died working on the Hebrew word nefesh for soul. And today, Hebrew is the official language of the state of Israel, followed by Arabic and of course English. They understand English out here very well in Israel. And when you drive around Israel today, you will see street signs, highway signs that are in Hebrew, Arabic, and English. But this man, Eliezer Ben Yehuda, single-handedly revived the Hebrew language. And today, Israelis speak that Hebrew language. That fulfilled a prophecy in Zephaniah chapter 3 and in verse number 8, where God said that one day he would return. He would restore a pure language. And folks, we know what that language is. Hebrew. Ancient Hebrew contains no foul cuss words as we know it. Now, today, modern Hebrew might be a little bit different. But ancient Hebrew contained no foul language whatsoever. That's why God referred to it as a pure language. So how do you say Hebrew in Hebrew? Ivrit. Ivrit is the official language of the state of Israel today. despite the persecution, despite being thrown in jail by the Ottoman authorities, which the rabbis can take a lot of responsibility for that as well. And because, you know, here you have these men who were supposed to know the scriptures. They were supposed to know the Tanakh, the Old Testament. And yet they were ignorant of Zephaniah 3:8, that God would restore a pure language. And that would be Hebrew, Ivrit. Despite his poor health, despite his first wife dying, he remarried. Nothing would keep this man down. And that's why this street, ladies and gentlemen, today is named after this man, Eliezer Ben Yehuda. Single-handedly revived the Hebrew language because he believed in the promises of God for the Jewish people. Eliezer Ben Yehuda. Which is why this street is named after him. Ben Yehuda Street. Now his name was Eliezer Perlman. And he wanted to make Aliyah here to Israel. He wanted to live in Jerusalem. And when he wanted to get documents saying, I want to move to Israel, the Turkish authorities said, there is no such land called Israel. And he says, yeah, there is a land called Israel because the Bible calls it Israel. He wants to live in Jerusalem. And he wanted to change his name from Eliezer Perlman to Ben Yehuda. Ben Yehuda. Eliezer Ben Yehuda. Ben is Hebrew for son. Yehuda, Judah. He wanted to be identified as a son of Judah. And that's why he had his name changed. And that's why, folks, this street is named after the man who single-handedly revived the Hebrew language as foretold in Zephaniah chapter 3 and verse number 8. Despite health problems, despite financial problems, despite legal problems, that prophecy, ladies and gentlemen, was fulfilled. And this street is named after him, Ben Yehuda Street. So when you're here in downtown Jerusalem, make sure that you visit Ben Yehuda Street, because being here reminds me of that prophecy that was fulfilled in Zephaniah chapter 3 and verse number 8. Hats off to Eliezer Ben Yehuda. And again, he died while working on the word nefesh, Hebrew for soul. There's an organization out here called Nefesh Bin Nefesh, soul to soul. It's an organization out here that brings Jewish people into the land. All right, well, this is Dr. August Rosado coming to you from the holy city of Jerusalem on Ben Yehuda Street, saying keep looking up. Messiah Yeshua, the Lord Jesus, is coming soon.